Hey everybody, welcome. My name is Todd Ronan, and I'm joined with Daniel Lakstins over there. How you doing, Daniel?
Hey, everything's so marvelous, baby. Yeah, marvelous.
This week I want to talk about remote healing. And there are a lot of people out there that are, really good at this technique. The idea behind my new course, Awakening Self-Healing.
But there are some other things I've seen online and seen different documentaries, and they have some documented evidence that people have been healed by certain specific ones. If they can do it, we can do it.
It's hard to gauge because prayer is internal. Do prayers and good thoughts help? They help you, but do they help the person you're praying at
Or for.
or for? Yeah, I didn't know the word. Yes, for at.
At four, yeah, but no, I mean, we do know that even some churches, when they do pray over, maybe they'll say that so and so sick, and pray for that person. Well, there's a high probability of results that happen in those situations. Just the thought alone, we know that magic is casting a spell. So spell literally meant to speak back, thousands of years ago. It just meant to speak, and so what we think about in law of attraction, what I always am teaching is what you think about, you bring about. So if you're thinking something negative towards someone, then you're bringing up higher probabilities of a negative event to happen to them. Whereas if you visualize your children are getting smarter and smarter, instead of saying, you stupid little kids, if you say you're getting smarter and smarter, then you're casting a spell, or you're pulling the law of attraction. It's like an aphorism. It's the same thing. It's all the same thing in my eyes. How can you help the audience today understand how they can do this more efficiently and proficiently, and where it works?
So in remote viewing, I teach a course, Temporal Awareness Perception Remote Viewing. You moved yourself outside of time to get information from your future self. We do something called remote influencing, and it's not popular in remote viewing circles to talk about because you don't want to let them know what negative aspects you can put on somebody or what positive aspects you can put on somebody. So imagine it like the movie Inception, where you're going into someone's non-brain, they're unconscious. You're planting a thought, you're planting a seed in order for them to have a behavior that you want at a certain time.
The only rule of reality is that you're allowed to affect yourself. You're allowed to manipulate yourself. That's your choice. But we have to be careful about if we want to influence someone else, or because there's nothing wrong. We're here to help each other. So if we're helping is good, but sometimes the universe or God will say, no, you're not allowed to help that person this much because we're interfering with their contract before they came here. So we don't want to break the rules of reality. We have to let people sometimes scrape their knees, make their mistakes, because if we help someone too much, well, they'll never get strong, right? If you're at the gym and someone's trying to build muscle, but you're constantly grabbing the weights and lifting it for them because you're huge. Well, then will they ever grow and become strong? So you can actually be interfering with someone's life in a negative way. But I think what Ronan's teaching is a way that you can actually use your skills to help someone, but you're not affecting it in a negative way. It's within the rules of reality.
One of the other things that they don't teach you in healing is that you can catch what you're trying to heal. So if am a healer and I work with a lot of cancer patients, even though I think I'm doing great deeds, and I'm the Mother Teresa of cancer, let's say, well, because I've been resonating with that cancer frequency with multiple people, what's going to happen? Well, that cancer frequency is going to come back in me in different places because it's a resonance. So you need to learn
Unless you do some
protection.
things, right? You have to do some things to prevent that.
Well, you do, but it still can happen to you. So the frequency, it's hard to block. I show you steps on how to block other people's frequency, other people's resonance, how to put a protection field around yourself, around your physical self, around your energetic self, and bounce that energy back because it's not your burden to carry.
What about the medical field? And it's Frederick Dotson that brings this out, that a lot of the doctors, they don't believe they're going to get sick, and they don't. but it's their belief system that's really protecting them. But if you're dealing with this kind of belief system and you're resonating, Ronan's going to give you some techniques that's going to really help you.
And
And
the
this,
same thing happens with me. People say, "When's the last time you got sick?" And I don't honestly remember. I don't get sick.
I don't
And
get
when I
sick.
do, it's a day, it's 2 days. That's it. So you can remote heal people. Yes, that's true. But you're going to pick up on that frequency. You're going to pick up on that dirtiness. So
Ronan,
what
I did
better
this.
way?
I did it when I broke my arm. Remember, I did. Some kid had a compound fracture. We were out doing a photo shoot with one of our companies. We had a hat company, and we're partnering with a skateboard company. And Streetwear Hats was our company's name. And then we're doing the photo shoot, and one of the kids, they're inside this big professional bowl. And we had our photographers out there doing all the photo shoot. And one of the kids fell and broke his elbow somewhere. He had a compound fracture around the elbow area, and he was just screaming. And I was just like, and I just closed my eyes and I did my little pulled out and try to change the timeline a little bit, but I neglected to throw off the negative energy. And he even yelled, "All right, you stop. I don't need your help," basically. And I was like, okay. But within a half an hour, my hand was up on top of my wrist.
You adopted his reality upon your own.
Yeah, I was trying to help him, but because uh, I didn't follow the techniques that you're going to be talking about, it actually came back on me. And then I was stuck. Yeah, I can share pictures of this with you, but
Oh, no,
it
thank
was
you.
a learning process, and it was good for me because it helped me to go back into another hermit phase to where I could go inside, myself.
So I teach you what the blocks are. I teach you what pain points are for you, and you can uncover when those came up, because a lot of pain we have today didn't happen today or last week. It happened 300 years ago in a past life, where you were stabbed on the battlefield, or you died in a fire, or something calamitous. Well, those are heals. Those are traumas. And because in Western society we don't believe in past lives, they don't accept those traumas as still recurring and still having an effect on you. So we have to go back, not just in this life, but in other lives, and heal the trauma that you have, to eradicate it and to smooth you over and to give you a perfect sense of balance and to heal your current DNA imprint so that you're healed. And it's only you are the one that must take control of your destiny and your healing, because if you rely on someone else, then you don't have any power. You've given your power away to somebody.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's just like being at the gym and you're not working out. Someone else is working out for you. How are you going to get stronger? How are you going to heal? Right?
I might take flack from this, but it's the same thing with pretty rocks. There are a lot of beautiful people who think that pretty rocks can heal them. Well, you're proxying those pretty rocks to do something, but it's your brain and your mind which is pushing forth that energy in those pretty rocks to do something for somebody. Pretty rocks are great. I'm not knocking pretty rocks. However,
That's the reason why I got into stones was when I broke my wrist. I was thinking, well, I didn't know anything about I mean, I knew that the energy was there, but I thought, well, if I could get some rocks that would heal me quicker, and that's why I got into stones back then. So, and I don't have an expert knowledge of stones. I just have a basic knowledge, but yeah, but no, they don't. It's not like I'm gonna say.
pretty rocks are a great proxy. I'm not saying that they're bad. I'm not saying that they won't help you, because there's a belief system built around pretty rocks. And that energy
That's mm-hmm.
gives
Go for it.
resonance to those pretty rocks for them to do something for you.
Right. And what I found though in my studies is that it's really the mind. Everything's a placebo. We know that. I mean, we already know the science behind it, and it's funny that they don't publish this kind of science all the time. But when they're they're doing their test to see whether this pill is going to be working for someone or not. And they do this, they'll get 100 people and they'll pass out sugar pills to half of them. It's a double blind or maybe a triple blind study. And what they found is 51% of the people taking sugar pills, they heal up the same, if not better, than the medicine that's prescribed. The sugar pills work because it's really around your belief. So if you believe your stone's going to heal you, then that belief is going to, it's the belief that heals you. You know, that's Daniel talking though. But
so I can heal people. I have the power to send energy to people. They can feel this energy. But then what happens to me? Well, even though I put up my protection barrier, I'm going to pick up on their resonance, even if it comes in low and over time. So I've learned to not heal people, which sounds callous, but it's
you're
actually
a terrible
helping
human
me.
being.
I've actually worked with so there was a guy, George Duzman, who's the creator of CTT, Consciousness Transformation Technique. And I was working with him to try to heal his right hip. Well, what happened like 2 days after I started working on him? Well, my right hip started to hurt really, really bad. And it was painful. And he had serious pain. So I picked up on that pain from him. And he lives in Washington and I live in Texas. But the resonance didn't care because resonance is instant. Psychic power is instant. That energy is instant. It didn't matter who it was going to or who's trying to help because it needs somewhere to go. So if I taught George how to heal himself, he wouldn't need me. He would feel better and he could do it on his own through awakening self-healing, the process where you uncover everything that's a block for you, a hindrance for you, a pain point for you, this life, past lives, next lives. You remediate it or excise it and then put it out of your mind. And it helps very much. You might need to retouch it a couple times a year, a few times a year, but you can remove that trauma, that pain by a couple of different processes and a few different meditations.
Yes. So what you're saying basically is it's better to teach someone and then tell them, heal thyself.
I could give you a fish, sure, but then you're out of fishes. You need more than one fish because Friday is coming and you're going to be hungry again. So your pain is going to come back and you're going to want more pain pills. Well, if I empower you with learning your healing yourself through awakened self-healing, then you've got the power. So next time that comes around, you go inside, you fix it, you heal it, and you don't need to focus on somebody else. You don't need to spend your money on somebody else. You don't need to pay somebody else to do it because you are the pretty rock yourself. You're a pretty rock. You can heal yourself.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. We are very capable creatures where we can actually find the vibration and heal. Many a times it was last year. I was, the house I was staying at, the one I manifested and stuff. And I woke up and I was going to go to the gym and all of a sudden I felt like I had the flu. And I said, hang on, I don't get sick. Why is this? But I just went through. I'm like, yeah, that feels just like the flu. And I said, okay. And a non-resistant meditation that I'm fine. I'm the whatever this is, I'm not going to assign the meaning to this sensation, even though it feels exactly like the flu. And I went to the gym. It wasn't until later that afternoon that I got home. I'm like going, oh, I feel healthy. Oh, it worked. The technique that I did, it totally worked. I know so many people. And the truth is we're here for an experience. So if maybe you want to have that experience, I remember being in elementary school going, wow, that sounds like that really sucks, but maybe I should have that experience. And the next thing I know, I would have that experience because one of my friends did. And I was vibing what you're saying. I was feeling the vibration of their experience and I drew that into my reality. And it's like, how? This is impossible. But things happen all the time. We call those coincidences. But in reality, we're just synchronicity. We're syncing up with that vibration and drawing that into our reality. And so I highly suggest do what Ronan says. Let other people heal thyself. But if you get something where you're thinking that you may have some sort of pain somewhere, Don't assign a meaning to it. I've avoided getting sick forever because I don't say, am I getting sick? No, I don't say that.
But thanks very much, everybody. It's good seeing you. If you have questions about the course, if you want to find me or Daniel, you can go to Reality Forecast on the internet.com. And if you want to find Daniel, you can go to www.ultimaterealitysurfing.com or Google Daniel Lakstins or Google Reality Forecast and let me know what happens when that happens. Or use Bing or Yahoo or Ask Jeeves or whatever else you want to try out there. But
And if they haven't done so already, please right now go down, click subscribe, click like, and hit the bell so that way you can get a lot more of these encouraging podcasts right on your special phone, computer, or wherever you listen to them.
We wish you health and healing in your journey on this life incarnation, and we'll see you guys next time.
Bye.
Bye, everybody.
What you think about, you bring about.